really nice this weekend. Yeah. I'm thinking about taking the boat out tomorrow. You're right. Hey, how you doing? FBTV Radio Live. My name is Mike. I'm your host. Every Friday morning, 10 a.m., we get together for about an hour and we talk about stuff pertaining to the transportation industry mostly, but we get off track every once in a while, like now. Yeah, 24. It's cold. Sunny, but cold. Headed up to a high of 47 today here where I'm at. Tomorrow's going to be 57. Can you believe it? Sunday, 60. Woo-hoo. Then Monday, 71. Monday I got to work. Good chance we will take the boat to the water tomorrow. Good chance we will take the boat to the water on Sunday. But hey, this is Arkansas. The weather can change in a heartbeat. Did you see this guy? Okay, this isn't funny. It is, but it isn't. And it's going to sound like I'm getting political, but I'm really not. Okay, there's a guy out there somewhere. His pictures, mugshots on the internet now, in the news. Hold on, let me pull it up. He's out in New Hampshire. He was arrested yesterday for allegedly assaulting a 15-year-old Trump supporter and 2 adults at a polling site during the state's first and the nation primary earlier this week. And the point is, the guy looks like a deer in headlights. I mean, he just got that whack eye going on, you know. He's and it's not just him because he's attacking Trump. I'm talking about any of them. Any of them that get out there, Republican, Democrat, if you ever notice, the ones that get busted for going after the other one, no matter what, when you see them, they got that freaky look to them, you know, just like out of their gourd. You know, I am not right. I need help. Look, you know, I get it. We get heated up in politics, and I also get it too. That when it gets to mugshot time, no, you're not looking like you did when you first got out of the shower. I get that. But anyway, neither here nor there. I just going over the news items this morning, I saw that guy. I go, man, that poor guy, that picture's going to haunt him forever. He might be a great guy. Just lost it for a few seconds. I mean, for crying out loud, we all do that. Matter of fact, had a guy come to my door the other day to deliver a package. Well, the dude calls me. He calls me. And I'm not going to get into it real deep, but he said something or asked me a question that was none of his business. And I let him know. Politely, tactfully, but it just hit me wrong. And I'm not going to get into what the question was. That doesn't matter. He just shouldn't have asked. And he even knew he shouldn't have asked it as soon as he asked. Because, you know, I said, look, your job, because I know, I'm sorry. Well, anyway, the dude shows up to deliver the package, and I was still kind of ticked about it. And not meaning to, but I did. I gave him kind of a hard time. You know, asking about, hey, you know, who do you drive for? He didn't know. What trucking company? I don't know. I'm an independent contractor, okay, but who do you drive for? Well, I don't know. And I thought that's odd. And I kind of said, well, you know, you've whoever you're doing this for, they either have to have a DOT number or they need to be a licensed motor carrier, have an MC number. I don't know. Be it if he was protecting the company or not, which he probably was, still not the right answer. You should be able to answer that question. You should have those permits in your... He was in a van. He was in a cargo van. I know he's a hot shot, but I know when I hot shotted, signs had to be on the door, identification had to be made, permits had to be carried. But anyway, but what I'm getting at, I understand sometimes things just get weird, but why they all look so deer in the headlights, you know, is who's that guy? Who was that guy that what was his name? Andy Griffith Show. The he was always after Barney. I can't remember his name now. But anyway. Okay, let's move on here. We've spent enough time talking about that. Okay, this P.A.M. transport deal really has me buffaloed. Unless I'm missing something here. I think this is terrible. And maybe I'm missing something. I'll just kind of go over this story with you. Thousands of truckers for P.A.M. transport entitled to their share of at least $2 million for lost wages. However, that sum can be much more as other claims make their way to trial. Okay, back a little over a week ago, Judge Brooks, U.S. District Court, Western District of Arkansas, that's mine, I believe, ordered Tawnytown, Arkansas-based P.A.M. Transport to pay a class of truckers nearly $2 million. More specifically, the $2 million judgment is for all time logged as driving and on-duty not driving that led to less than minimum wage when accounted for. The order also includes wages not paid for rest breaks of 20 minutes or less. Both claims fall under the Federal Fair Labor Standards Act and the Arkansas Minimum Wage Act. That just bugs the heck out of me. And here's why. When I was a driver, I knew that I got paid for the miles I drove. I got paid for the trip. That's why I drove a truck, because I could make more money driving a truck than working for somebody making an hourly wage. And more times after I learned how to do it, I usually made a lot more money than what I would have if I was at home working for somebody for an hourly wage. And again, unless I'm missing something here, I don't get this lawsuit. I just don't get it. This goes against everything trucking. If I'm a driver and I'm working for a company and I can't make any money with that company because they won't run me, well, guess what? I'm not going to work for that company very long. I'm going to find me another trucking company. As a matter of fact, that's the way it worked out. First year or two when I started driving. I started driving when I was at Harold Dive, 17.5 cents per mile. It would have been 16.5 cents, except I agreed to drive a cab over. If you ever get that option, don't. Take the hood. All right? Take the hood. But for an extra penny a mile, I chose to drive the cab over. Spring ride cab over, I might add. I felt every bump. Every one of them. You know what they say about a cab over? The driver in a cab over is always the first one to the accident. Luckily, I was never the first one there. Not to say I didn't have an accident, but that's a story for another day. That should be a trucker story. Matter of fact, we haven't done that in a few weeks. We ought to, plan on doing one of those before too long. Maybe today. Who knows? My problem is, and every trucking company in Arkansas should be scared to death right now, especially J.B. Hunt. If these drivers aren't making enough money because they're doing this on a 16-hour day. It looks like 16 hours a day. So if your driver did not make at least minimum wage over 16 hours, you're going to have to make it up. I don't know. Something about this just feels terribly, terribly wrong. It feels like there's some truck drivers out there who are just too lazy to do what they're supposed to do. I had an attitude when I was driving. I'm not out here to have fun. I'm out here to work. Matter of fact, a lot of my problem with health probably was my attitude. And my attitude was, when I left the house, my mental attitude was I was on my way home. As soon as I pulled out of the driveway, my mental attitude was I am on my way home. So I cut seconds and minutes off every time I could. That just meant I'd be home that much sooner, have that much home time. Right, wrong, indifferent, doesn't matter. That was my attitude. I was a runner. I liked seeing the big paychecks. If I made less than $1,000 a week when I was driving, I was not a happy camper. Mama wasn't too happy either, Now, this averages out, obviously, but for a truck driver to sue because they didn't make minimum wage when all they had to do was quit and go to work for another trucking company, if you're not getting the miles, go to work someplace else. That's pretty simple. You know what I mean? I mean, that's pretty doggone simple. Let's see, what is this about? What else? Required to do that time. Let's see, other things that... Well, I just read this to you. Per Arkansas regulations, the maximum amount of time an employer may dock an employee who's on duty for more than 24 hours for time spent in a sleeper berth is 8 hours per day. The remaining 16 hours is work time and must be paid minus meal periods. Plaintiffs argue they are entitled to 16 hours of pay because they were required to do the following during that time. Okay, are you ready? This is what P.A.M. made them do to make these drivers feel like they should be paid more. Drive a P.A.M. transport truck. I'm sorry. That just makes me laugh. These drivers are suing because they were expected to drive a truck as a truck driver during that 16-hour period. Remain in the truck while the truck was moving. Let me finish that. There's more to that sentence. Remain in the truck while the truck was moving so they could assist in transporting the cargo. In parentheses, they got team drivers. Well, no kidding. What's the team driver going to do? Hey, let me get out of a truck. I'm going to hang out here. I'll catch a plane. I'll meet you at the airport. Come on, man. Oh, no. They had to fuel up the truck and perform routine maintenance like pre-trip, post-trip, checking the oil, washing the windshield. Remain in the vicinity of the truck to help protect P.A.M. transport customers' property. Well, considering the sleeper is in the vicinity of the truck, remain inside the truck when stopped to log time in the sleeper berth and to help protect customer. They're saying this is why they should... Either the legal system's gone stupid, I'm missing something, or these guys filing this kind of a lawsuit are missing something. I mean, this is just silly. I can't believe they won this. I mean, this is what a truck driver does. At least it was when I was a driver. And I still think it's pretty much the same way. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens after this. Because it seems to me like every trucking company in Arkansas is going to be guilty of this. It's going to be interesting if there's going to be some type of lawsuit against JB. And again, I'm going by what this article's telling me. And there may be something I'm really missing big time that makes this all make sense. But from what I've seen so far, and I'm not trying to twist this at all, it's what I'm saying. This is the article. Because during that 16-hour workday, they're entitled to 16 hours of pay. Now, if their mileage, the money they made for that day, makes them at least minimum wage for those 16 hours, then everything's cool. But if not, I just don't get it. Hey, there were days, every trucking company's going to be, this is what I'm saying, every trucking company has, they should be scared to death right now, because every trucking company, you lay a driver over for a weekend from Friday to Monday, that's 24, 48, 72 hours. If you're paying that driver, just layover pay, and it starts after the first 24 is on him, this is saying, no, it's not. No, Mr. Trucking Company, 16 hours, you got to pay him for out of that 24. There is no after the first 24. It's just crazy. Just totally nuts, off the wall. I don't get it. Now, there are some things in here. I will say this about the lawsuit, and I've just glanced over it. This is the part right here that I have trouble with. There is things in here that I do have trouble with that isn't right. Lawsuit also alleges unlawful COM data card fees. P.A.M. transport drivers were paid wages via a COM data card. Okay, nothing wrong there. According to the complaint, P.A.M. transport received interest on the money left in accounts. Well, don't go blaming P.A.M. for that. Okay, until the drivers used the COM data card. Furthermore, fees were charged for checking balances on an ATM. That's not. You take your ATM card, put it in another bank's machine to do anything, and see if you don't get charged by that bank and by your bank. This is stupid too. P.A.M. transport drivers claim other unlawful deductions, including $25 a week until $500 was accumulated in an escrow. Okay, not normal, but I kind of get it to a point. However, they're going to sink their ship here in a minute. The company also charged $10 fee for advances up to $75. Okay, that's a little weird. Additionally, $45 was deducted each week for about 6 weeks for a 2-week CDL school drivers attended during or before beginning orientation. Additionally, $45 was deducted each week for about 6 weeks for a 2-week CDL school drivers attended before beginning orientation. These deductions also resulted in wages that were less than minimum wage. Okay, whoever wrote this story, you should be, doing something else, because okay, you're saying $45 deducted each week for about 6 weeks for a 2-week CDL school. All right. Well, CDL school is where the driver goes to learn how to pass the CDL test so that they can become a driver. They have to have a CDL, obviously, before they can start driving or begin orientation. Now, if that's the case, then what's the problem? Hey, yeah, we'll put you through school. Listen, there's going to be $45 deducted for the first 6 weeks for us putting you through school. Come on. Did you get your CDL? Yeah, all right. P.A.M. Transport agreed to pay drivers interest on the $500 on a quarterly basis at an annual rate of 8%. Drivers accuse the company of not honoring that agreement. There's a problem. Hey, if you're saying you're going to pay interest on that and you don't, we're going to have a little talk. And lastly, and this has happened, I think, to anybody in the trucking industry, drivers claim unlawful deductions of final paychecks. More specifically, a driver's last paycheck can face deductions for failure to turn in all trip envelopes, bills of lading, damaged vehicle or cargo, failure to meet one-year employment commitment. And I bet that 1-year employment commitment goes back to that CDL school. And incurred expenses due to termination, i.e. out of route miles, towing, etc. According to the lawsuit, those deductions are not to be taken from at the time of discharge under Arkansas law. Well, Arkansas law is really screwed up then. I mean, in Arkansas, and I'm in Arkansas, Arkansas court awarding $2 million judgment for doing your job or not doing your job as a truck driver. I don't know. I don't know, but I think either the person that wrote this article really has it all messed up, and they don't know what they're talking about. They're putting 2 to 2 together and coming up with 3, and you know, they just missed the big story. There's something else going on. Otherwise, what I see here is that a judge ordered P.A.M to pay $2 billion because the drivers were doing their job. You know what I mean? I mean, doing what a truck driver does, every truck driver. I don't know, crazy. We'll have to watch that. Keep an eye on that, because I hope it gets appealed. If you know, like I'm saying, from what I see here, it makes no sense. None. You know, these truck drivers are suing because I went to work for them. I didn't make enough money. I want more money. I'm too lazy to go find another job. Or maybe, I went through CDL school and I got in a truck and I don't like driving trucks, so I'm going to sue them. Yeah, because, you know, everybody's a winner. I got trophies even when we lost, and even though I'm losing, and even though I said, yeah, right. That's what it sounds like to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am. You know, if you're a P.A.M driver, you want to contact me, tell me the facts, tell me the real deal story. Hey, I hope you do. You can email me, FBTV@freightbrokertv.com.